In a future America, a controversial presidential candidate predicts that Los Angeles will be the city of sin, plagued by crime and corruption. He warns that it will be cut off from the rest of the country, abandoned by God. Miraculously, his predictions come true when a massive earthquake strikes the San Fernando Valley, breaking Los Angeles away from the mainland and turning it into an isolated island. The president's wild forecast becomes a reality, and he is rewarded with a lifetime term in office. With the White House now relocated to Virginia, the president tightens his grip on the nation, cracking down on crime and imposing harsh moral laws. The country is now a moral America, where any violation of the president's rules, like drinking, smoking, eating red meat, or swearing, results in deportation to Los Angeles. The island is transformed into a chaotic, lawless penal colony where gangs rule, and those who break the rules are sent to live in this dangerous, abandoned city. A heavily fortified wall patrolled by the United States Police keeps anyone from escaping. In this oppressive new world, a man named Snake Plissken, notorious for his crimes, is arrested in New Vegas. The man, the legend, was caught under false charges, like simply owning a gun, and brought to the government for a quick resolution. As he's escorted through a brutal deportation process, Snake finds himself in a dark, empty room where a police commander named Malloy offers him an offer he can't refuse. Snake is shown footage of Air Force 3, where the president's daughter, Utopia, has stolen a device capable of sending an electromagnetic pulse anywhere in the world. She's been brainwashed by a revolutionary leader named Cuervo Jones, who convinced her to deliver the remote control to him within the city of Los Angeles. The president, indifferent to his daughter's fate, doesn't care whether she lives or dies. He just wants the remote back. Malloy offers Snake a full pardon for all his crimes if he retrieves it, but Snake refuses. To his surprise, Malloy reveals that he's been secretly infected with a virus that will kill him in 10 hours unless he completes the mission. Snake's only chance at survival is to enter the island, find Utopia, and retrieve the remote control. He's given various gadgets to help him on his journey, including a jacket that hides his body's thermal signature. Before Snake leaves, Malloy tries to kill him by setting him up with blanks in his gun, but Snake catches on. As Snake makes his way to the island, the countdown on his device begins. Using a nuclear-powered mini-submarine, Snake travels through the submerged ruins of Los Angeles, eventually crashing through a skyscraper and landing on a cliff's edge. The sub is destroyed, but Snake survives, greeted by a group of surfing police officers who patrol the waters near the island. One of them, named Pipeline, is a fan of Snake and welcomes him to the city of sin. It's a hotbed of crime, but Snake isn't fazed. He follows a tracking device to find the president's last team, only to discover their bodies, along with a gang member tossing knives at them. Snake shoots the man, ignores his challenge, and continues his search. Along the way, he meets an eclectic cast of characters. He receives directions from a waitress, survives an encounter with a deadly knife-throwing gang, and catches up with Cuervo Jones's convoy. He hijacks a motorcycle, but Cuervo's people throw him off and surround him. Despite their initial plan for a quick draw, Snake outguns them all and continues his pursuit. As he travels across the city, the virus begins to take its toll, causing him intense pain. Snake eventually meets a strange swindler named Map to the Stars Eddie, who offers him a tour of Los Angeles in exchange for some money. Eddie provides Snake with directions to Cuervo's camp, and Snake makes his way toward it. Along the way, he runs into a young woman named Taslima, who warns him to stay quiet to avoid attracting the gangs. Despite her advice, Taslima draws attention to herself, and both are captured by a group of cloaked figures. They take Snake and Taslima back to their hideout in the local hospital, where the deformed remnants of Silicon Valley's inhabitants have lived. Sustained by a mix of technology and plastic surgery, the leader of the group, known as the Surgeon General, wants to use Snake's eyeball for their own twisted purposes. But Snake, ever resourceful, uses a dart hidden in his mouth to escape and free Taslima. The two flee into the sewers, where she leads Snake toward Cuervo's camp. In the Dragon Gang district, Taslima confesses that she was sent to Los Angeles because she practiced a religion other than Christianity, and she doesn't want to leave. For many people on the island, Los Angeles is the last bastion of freedom. Before Snake can respond, a group of children shoots Taslima dead in his arms. Angry but determined, Snake continues on his mission. He eventually meets up with Eddie again, who gives him a ride to Cuervo's headquarters. But Snake quickly learns that Eddie is working for Cuervo and is captured by the revolutionaries. When Snake wakes up, he finds himself strapped to a treadmill, forced to run for hours as part of Cuervo's cruel game. Meanwhile, The president assumes Snake has failed the mission and prepares to launch a nuclear strike on Los Angeles. However, Malloy warns him that Cuervo now controls the satellites capable of disabling America's power grid. With the country vulnerable, Cuervo plans to send a signal to Latin America to launch an attack. On a video call, Cuervo threatens the president while Test-Tube, a genius hacker, discovers a code that could disable the satellite's control and restore power. The president remains confident that Snake will eventually complete the mission. But the stakes are higher than ever. In this fractured dystopian world, Snake must face enemies both internal and external, battling not only for survival, but for the future of a nation on the brink of collapse. He warns that anyone who tries to stop him will suffer the consequences, even threatening to shut down the whole country. To prove his power, he causes a massive blackout in the capital of Virginia. With the world watching, the man, known as Cuervo, organizes a gladiatorial tournament in the Los Angeles arena, which has been transformed into a giant coliseum. The tournament includes all sorts of crazy events, including a high-stakes basketball game where contestants must make 5 shots within 10 seconds, alternating hoops. If they fail, they are shot dead by a barrage of bullets. No one has ever beaten the challenge, but when it's Snake's turn, he blows everyone away by making a full-court shot, leaving the crowd stunned. The people cheer for him, but Cuervo, who harbors a personal vendetta against Snake, plans to kill him anyway. As Cuervo prepares to take Snake's life, Utopia, Cuervo's woman, has a change of heart. She distracts her man, giving Snake the chance to escape. In the chaos that follows, Snake makes a run for it, using an aftershock to his advantage. The guards are scattered, and Snake races away, determined to get to Cuervo's headquarters. Along the way, he causes a diversion by blowing up a car, then knocks Cuervo down and steals a remote control that could change everything. He heads into the sewers, hoping to disappear into the underground. Utopia chases him, desperate to escape the life she's trapped in. She pleads with Snake to take her with him, back to her family. Although Snake doesn't kill her, he doesn't help her either. Just then, Eddie, a double agent working for Cuervo, shoots Snake in the leg. Snake falls into the water, injured and unable to fight back. The story then shifts to Eddie, who returns to Cuervo, bringing both the remote control and the president's daughter with him. They think Snake is dead, but Eddie isn't so sure. Meanwhile, Snake is spat out of the water on the edge of the city. He's injured but alive. A surfer named Pipeline finds him and helps treat his wound. Pipeline pulls out a spare surfboard from his buggy, and they surf the huge tsunami waves flooding the area. As they ride the waves, Eddie's car comes into view, and Snake, seeing his chance, leaps onto the car and beats Eddie into submission. Snake forces Eddie to take him to a rival gang leader who hides out on the old Queen Mary cruise ship. The gang leader, Hershey, turns out to be an old ally of Snake's. However, Hershey's no longer the same person Snake knew. She now goes by the name William and keeps a gun hidden close by. Hershey laughs off the idea that the virus Snake is infected with is anything more than propaganda, but Snake doesn't buy it. She agrees to help him get the remote control and escape the island, because, like Snake, she's tired of living in this hellish place. The two make their escape, and with Hershey's help they leap from the Queen Mary, using hang gliders to soar over the city. They make their way to an amusement park called Happy Kingdom by the Sea, where Cuervo and his army are waiting for the president's helicopter, the first part of his demands. But Snake is ready to stop Cuervo from escaping. Eddie goes down first as a distraction, trying to steal the remote, but he's caught in the act. Snake and Hershey arrive just in time to turn the tide. In the ensuing gunfight, Snake takes down Cuervo's men one by one. He faces Cuervo in a fistfight, only to discover that Cuervo is a brutal fighter, slashing Snake across the chest with a blade. Just as they're about to finish each other off, an explosion sends them both flying. Snake grabs the remote control and defeats Cuervo, but his troubles aren't over. He retreats to an armored helicopter, but not before grabbing his jacket from a random dead guy. He agrees to take Utopia with him to reunite her with her father. The helicopter is under attack from Cuervo's soldiers, but Hershey's men manage to free them. Cuervo, however, isn't done yet. He picks up a rocket launcher and shoots at them, mortally wounding Eddie in the process. Eddie jumps back onto the island to avoid being caught in the explosion, but Hershey and her men aren't so lucky. The blast blows them all to pieces. In the end, only Snake and Utopia survive. They manage to pilot the damaged helicopter all the way to the mainland. As they near the police headquarters, the helicopter crashes, but they make it out just in time. Snake's mission isn't over, but for now he's made it out of the chaos alive, with the remote control in hand and a sense of freedom finally within reach. Commander Malloy, Brazen and the president arrive with a platoon of soldiers, expecting to take control of the situation. Snake, nearing the end of his time, offers the remote, thinking he's about to end his ordeal. But when the president examines the virus situation, he discovers it's nothing more than the flu, a harmless illness, not a deadly one at all. Snake had fooled them all. Malloy, realizing Snake's deception, investigates further and finds what he believes is the real remote control hidden on Utopia. A small red dot marks it, confirming his suspicions. Despite Utopia's desperate pleas for forgiveness, Malloy orders her execution, and she's taken to the electric chair. Meanwhile, the president prepares to launch an invasion, intending to hit South American nations with an EMP strike before taking military action. He believes he has control of the satellites and activates his remote, only to be met with the sound of Eddie's Map to the Stars recording instead of any satellite command. It turns out the red dot was a fake, an elaborate trick by Eddie earlier. Furious, the president orders Snake's immediate execution. But what happens next surprises everyone. The Snake they were looking at wasn't the real one, using a military gadget. The real Snake stands hidden somewhere in a field, projecting a holographic image of himself to fool the elite. With a smile, Snake activates every satellite in orbit, triggering an electromagnetic pulse, EMP, that sends the entire world back to the Dark Ages. Communication systems go down, and the elite's technological advantage vanishes, bringing them down to the level of the common people. This action saves Utopia from the electric chair, though it's likely she's shot soon after. As chaos erupts and the elites scramble to regain control, Snake calmly walks off into the woods. Before disappearing into the trees, he turns back and mutters, "Welcome to the human race." The world is now reset, and Snake has, in his own way, brought balance to the chaos. And it would be total chaos if you, my friend, would not continue to watch nice recaps. That's why I prepared some recommendations on the right. Drop a like and subscribe to return for future uploads. Grab your popcorn, enjoy yourself, and see you soon, my friend.